Hello, everyone. I'm Jonah Swotes. Welcome to The Good Love, a show where a mom and son talk about the wounds we all carry but seldom speak aloud, and the beautiful mess of being human. In this week's episode, it's America's 250th. Woo! So naturally, we talk about independence and the dependency cycle that we all go through during our lives. We hit on the relationship between parents and children and the feelings that get brought up naturally as children grow up. We also talk about the necessary support system for parents to have to become supportive advocates for the lives and choices of their children. Let's get into it.
Sometimes you gotta fail, taste the ground, and rise again for the good love to come along.
All right, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to another episode of The Good Love.
Welcome to another episode, The Good Love with Steph and Jonah.
I'm Steph. She's Jonah.
I'm Steph.
Your favorite.
If you're gonna do it, you have to say Steph, because that's how I say my name now.
Yeah, but I just said I'm Steph. You're Jonah.
Yeah, but you didn't go. I'm Steph.
That's because I'm not Steph. I'm Steph.
We got a little bit of a fireworks bang going on right now in spirit of Independence Day, don't we, Mr. Jonah?
I guess we do, but it is the 4th of July, so.
Well, that was a little 4th of July. Anyways, welcome to The Good Love with Steph and Jonah.
Yes, welcome again.
I'm Steph.
And I'm Jonah. How's everyone doing today? I'm feeling pretty good. How are you doing, Mom?
I'm doing well. My text is going off like a mofo right now. So I'm doing well this morning, actually. I had a very productive morning. I met with my hormone specialist, Dr. Hill. I'm working with a hormone specialist right now. I clearly have gone through, I think I've gone through early menopause, being 35 plus.
Crazy how that happened.
Because I'm 30 in my 30s.
Yes.
I can't figure out why I've already gone through menopause.
It is a little early.
So Dr. Hill is helping me with some supplementation.
Very nice.
Dr. Hill is helping Steph with some supplementation.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Dr. Hill.
Yeah. Jonah will be very happy, Dr. Hill. Anyways, how are you, honey? Are you all ready for your week and excited about what's to come this week?
Not ready, not packed, but excited. Going away again. I'll be away from home for another week. Feels like I've barely been home the past couple weeks.
You haven't been.
But a good friend of mine had some surgery, so I got to go help him recover and help him heal up.
Well, that's after your big 4th of July weekend down the Cape, right?
Yes, also going down the Cape for the 4th of July.
Did you just give me a hand signal?
No.
You didn't go?
No, and if I did, the point of a hand signal would be to get it without talking about it, so you would have ruined it even if it were a hand signal.
I can't promise that will change.
That's okay. Subtlety was never your style, Mama.
Never.
But yes, I'm going away for the 4th to Onset, Mass in the Cape. My girlfriend's family has a beach house, so we're going to go party it up, cook some dogs, cook some burgers and some seafood. And
Poor you.
I know, it's awful.
Well, I'm leaving my family. I'm leaving all my friends. My body's at home, but my heart's in the wind. Where the clouds are like headlines of a new front page Times. My tears dissolve in water, and the moon is full and bright. And I'm
All righty. Beautiful.
actually, the next line is, and I'm now leaving, so be proud of me. For it's windy and it's stormy and it's cold by the sea. Please tell my family, tell them today, shiver me timber, I'm sailing away. I am proud of you, Jonah.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of you.
Very proud of you too for singing on the podcast.
I can sing. It's my party.
It's our party.
It's our party, and I'll sing if I want to.
If you guys want to hear more of my mom sing, you can find her on Spotify and Apple Music.
It's true. There's a cheap plug.
Under Steph Campbell.
Unabashed club.
Yeah.
I mean, plug.
Yeah. Well, it is.
Thanks, honey.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
wasn't even planned.
I know. They can go listen to you sing there so they can come listen to you talk here.
Steph Campbell Forgiven, Spotify and Apple.
There you go. The Good Love is on there, our lovely theme song, and many, many others. What about you, Mom? What are you doing for Independence Day? How are you celebrating 250 of America?
First of all, do you need to say more? I did interrupt.
No.
I get verbose with my song. I know. Do you need to say more about
I
your
don't know.
fun time away?
I would love to hear what you're doing for Independence Day.
I'm independently sitting on my ass in the Boston area and doing fucking nothing.
As is your American given right.
I am, well, tonight I'm going to visit Ralph and Leah to say hello. I'm thinking I might see Judy over the weekend. I don't know yet. And Mare. Getting ready for my big trip to Cali with you. So I'm thinking you might come back when you're back and this whole place might be packed for all you know.
Wow, that would be something.
Yeah, it won't be. We can't live that way for 4 weeks.
That would be a bit of a shocker, but
Yeah, but I'll probably get through some stuff.
I am looking forward to starting to pack when I get back, even though I hate packing. But
And even though I'm actually looking forward to it as well. I'm looking forward to my goal this week, by the time you're back, is to at least have what we're not taking out of here.
wonderful.
Because I don't have to transport any of the furniture out. I'm going to leave that to you.
Yep.
But the innards, I can just wheel out with our turquoise wheelbarrow. I can just wheel it out to the dumpster.
Do we have a wheelbarrow? Oh, the wagon.
The wagon.
The wagon.
Oh, not the wheelbarrow.
Yes, the wagon.
That was a menopause mistake.
Our steadfast wagon that has been with us this whole time. And
If we were really like massively popular,
Mm-hmm.
we could probably get a sponsorship with that wagon.
We probably could. We use it enough, that's for sure.
I'm a big wagon person. We keep it folded up and in the closet. And I'm a basket person.
It helps when you live in an apartment complex.
For sure.
It's
For
more
sure.
challenging to bring stuff in.
Yeah.
But back to our Independence Day plans. So
Yeah.
it sounds like you have a lovely little weekend of
Yes.
some fun and also maybe some productivity lined up.
Yeah, my fun basically is being alone. I like that.
Your Independence Day fun is being independent, and that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. In planning California.
Planning California, which there's much
Helping
to
you
be
get
done.
out, helping you get out there and yeah.
Setting up our new lives,
Yeah.
which we're both very, very excited for.
Yeah.
The weather, especially. It's been a very hot week this week, and I know you've been checking the weather report card, and it's 71 and sunny every day out there.
71 every single day. And we're in a heat wave right now in New England, in Massachusetts. And I mean, we've hit well over the 100 degree. And I begin to melt when it goes over like 75. So I'm very pleased to see this. Jonah's move is a little more permanent because he's going to school. I'm just going out there for now
Yes,
to help him get out there and check it out. That's all.
absolutely.
Yeah. If I like it, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens, but very, very excited for the West Coast. And also looking forward to going and helping my friend out this week.
Yeah.
He had a very, very tough surgery and can't use his legs right now, so he's in a wheelchair while he recovers. And I'm excited to be going home to the Berkshires, and hopefully I'm going to get to see some of my friends and see my dad and probably see the Berkshires for the last time before I head out to
Wow.
sunny CA.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually am trying to make a plan with Janie because I'd like to see her and Vicky and David and possibly RT. There are people I want to see out there too. So we'll see. We're making it all happen independently. I keep trying to loop back around because Marissa is coming in on the train. So Jonah is under a time constraint this morning. So we should probably jump into our topic. Although I'd be happy to just shoot the shit.
I know you would. I know you would. But yeah, let's get into it. So
do you want me to read it or do you remember?
Well, I want to talk about your section of it first. I think that's a nice little tie-in.
Okay.
In honor of Independence Day, we'd love to talk about independence because we're about to celebrate it as a country. But, I think independence is dependency and independence are a very interesting psychological topic. And I think it would be helpful for us to get into it a little bit and talk about, what type of independences are healthy, if dependency is healthy, what type of dependencies can be healthy, and sort of how to look for those and identify those in your life.
Yeah, and at different stages of our life, there's a difference in all of them. So, back in my day, when I was in my 20s, so like 5-10 years ago, it was a joke, but codependency was the big buzzword. Melody Beattie had come out with Codependent No More. People were literally questioning, is it codependent to hold the door for someone? I'm not kidding. When codependency, when the spotlight started to shine on codependency, that was like the big question. I remember going through it. I was always a big therapy buff. And so I think distinguishing what codependency is, I think dependency is much like when you're born, you're dependent.
Absolutely.
That is very healthy.
For a long time. And then when does interdependence, or what is interdependence, and when does independency, right? Yeah. So, yeah, go for it. And you were also talking about, what was the other thing you were talking about, though, that we did want to fit in? I think you're talking about the individualism.
Individualism versus collectivism.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll tie in nicely.
Yeah. So anyways, but yeah, you want to start, Mr. Psychology? That's what we do here. We talk about it all.
Sure.
What's the stuff that people might not want to talk about in this area that we want to talk about?
Well, obviously, in America, July 4th has been known as Independence Day for about 250 years now. And we're getting ready to celebrate it again because we in this country, we love independence. We were born through an independent revolution where we were trying to carve ourselves out on our own, and we have since take the baton and run with it, and created our own brand of independence and freedom, as we like to call it. Can
I just interject and tell you how many songs are going through my head right now, and that I'm really working my very best not to sing them.
Everyone give Steph a round of applause for not singing the songs in her head.
There's so many songs.
She needs the recognition right now because it's very hard for her.
It's very hard for me. All right, honey, go ahead.
So, what is independence, and why do we as a nation revere independence so much? The basic definition of independence is not being dependent on anyone or anything, right? So in our adult lives, we like to strive for independence a lot of the time. We want what we want, we feel what we feel, and we don't want anyone to tell us any differently, right? And absolutely, there are great things about the concept of independence. There are some not so good things about independence. But, generally, when you're a parent, you're trying to raise a child who can be independent when they grow up. And when you're an adult, you're trying to sort of be your own governor and chase your dreams and make your own life. And that's kind of the goal. That's kind of the life cycle of development psychologically of humans. As you go, you start out as a very dependent baby. You're completely dependent on the people around you. And as you grow up little by little, your parents start to give you a little bit more freedom over time. You start to learn how, you might get an allowance to start, and then that teaches you how to have your own money. You might get chores that teaches you how to take care of the things in life that you're supposed to take care of. You go to school, you start getting assignments. you're slowly sort of weaning off of the dependence as you grow up. And then boom, one day you're 18 in the US and all of a sudden you're your own person. You're responsible for yourself. And, as someone who went through this process, I guess about 10 plus years ago, still fairly recent for me.
And 10 plus times.
10 plus
right?
times.
Wouldn't you say?
Definitely.
It's like quitting smoking. Like people, it takes time.
Yeah, it's a big process. And, I think we tend to gloss over that transition because it's just sort of seen as something that you do and that you have to do to become an adult. But it's an incredibly difficult and long process of sort of learning to have other people take care of you as a young child, and then sort of having to change that into taking care of yourself.
And to interject that it's also difficult for a parent on both ends. Like this morning, What did I say to you when we were getting ready? I asked you what time you were leaving. Why?
Because you wanted to be there when I left.
I am struggling because after our podcast, Jonah leaves for the week, and I speak on behalf of parents right now. And I want to be here to shut the door and see him off. And I don't think I'm going to be able to be. Some parents actually might be like, don't let the door hit you in the ass. The ones I know on some level struggle with letting their children go.
Absolutely.
But anyways, not to take away from what you were saying, I just was balancing it out for both sides.
No, I think that's obviously you go through this stage from being a child to an adult, and then you almost relive that when you become a parent because you're doing it from the other side. And all of a sudden, a child is dependent on you, but in a way, you're also dependent on that child for purpose and for you are now responsible for that child, and the child has to be okay in order for you to be okay. So it's a complete recycling of the stages again.
Yeah.
I mean, what was your experience with sort of that? You obviously became independent, left home for a little while, and then you decided to have a kid. And
well, I think I'm totally willing to go there, as you know, but I don't want to take the spotlight off of you yet. I think you're really talking about I know I use the quitting smoking as an analogy, but you've actually left home quite a few times and then come back and planted again and left. And I think the topic that we're on, which is independence versus dependency versus interdependence versus codependence, and then the individualism versus, what was the other word? Collectivism. I think to sort of give, even if they're small examples, what are examples in your life of those definitions in a time maybe that you, like, I think that's you know what I'm saying? Like independence. Are we ever really independent is another question. Like, do we ever truly function independently?
I mean, in my opinion, on the whole, I would say no.
I would say no as well.
I think that you can take aspects of our life and, perceive some level of independence. And you can say, oh, I go to work and I make enough money, therefore I am financially independent. But you're still dependent on your employer.
That's right.
Still dependent on the demand for your services or your goods.
And the public and consumers if you have your own business.
Yeah.
Right? Like we're really all interconnected all the time. But I would say that right now, if this is fair to say, Jonah, I think you're kind of chomping at the bit. I think life, when it's lived in a conscious or as conscious as we can be way, and we're striving for health, I think it tells us when it's time to move on. Like, Jonah's been with me the last 2 to 3 years, right? In back and forth, he's traveled, he's worked, all that kind of stuff. But this is really since he was a young person. I mean, school, like high school, the first time he's really kind of buckled in and been in one place for a couple years, right? He's worked in different areas. He's gone to Mauritius. He's done all these wonderful things. And I can see lately that you are just so ready and excited. You and Marissa are getting your place together and you're like, but if I may, this is the independent thing. We were talking last week and you were like, yeah, I'll take whatever you don't want. Right. And I was like, well, this is what I want. And at one point you said, you kind of slipped and went, yeah, okay, I'm okay with that. Because you're used to me actually not only providing, I don't mean everything, but I've provided life for you for a very, very long time.
Yep.
And you're also used to me putting you before me.
Yes.
Right? So which is okay. That's all well and good. But we're getting to a point right now with independence where I'm actually splitting up my stuff and going, well, Jonah, I want to give this to Jonah and this to Jonah, right? So that Jonah can then go be independent.
Yes.
Right? Over the years, I've gotten you things. You've got a tool, what is it called? A
Toolbox.
A toolbox with all the tools you need. You've got a Vitamix. Like I've gotten him gifts over the years that are in storage, right? So we've been working towards your independence for a very long time.
Yes.
So is it true? Like you're really excited about going to be independent and going to kind of start your own life. And I think that's where parentally, I think that's where we have to allow ourselves to, I'm excited too, to be quite honest, very excited about my own space again, but I'm also very sad. There's a part of me that is like, my God, my little boy, who I still see as eight years old, is I'm launching him. I'll be down the road, but I'm launching him and we're launching him. And as a parent, there's a lot of different feelings that go along with that.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I feel like
But I know you're chomping at the bit is what I'm trying to say and give you the room for.
Well, I think for the child, it's a different experience because it's one of those things where you're so excited for it and you don't realize you miss it until there's a moment where you do. So like, there will be a moment when I'm in my new place where I'll be like, I don't know where I packed something. And normally I could just be like, Mom, where's the second pair of scissors? And you'd be like, the drawer next to the stove? It's in the cabinet under the drawer in the top left corner in the little container. And I would be like, see, I wouldn't have known that. Even though I'm the one in this new scenario, I'll be the one organizing my own house. I still wouldn't have known that. Or, just asking, Mom, how do you, just even like being in the kitchen, not even me asking, but just hearing, honey, you want me to show you how to make a roux? And then I'll be like, okay.
Well, you're playing Xbox.
Yeah, I'll be like, I'll definitely remember this.
Honey, Mommy's making a roux.
Yeah, and then she shows me how to make it, and then she's like, actually, this is the first time I've ever made a roux. So you're learning just as much as I have been throughout this process. We did it together. And I was like, you didn't know how to make a roux.
I'm very transparent.
Yes. So those are the things that I will absolutely miss. And also, just the availability, the being down the other room.
Honey, you're a good son. Oh. You're a wonderful, wonderful son, really.
Thank you.
He comes out and makes the roux. I wanted to, speaking of independence, I wanted to just tell a quick story, if I may.
Go ahead.
When Jonah studied abroad in Spain, he went for a semester, and it was very, very, we've already told one story about it with Kim Tedesco and I, when you and Julia went. But one day, we have this code between us because of my parental anxiety and life anxiety, which is, listen, if you're ever kidnapped, we have to come up with a code so that only I know that it's you. So I'll text him once in a blue moon and go, are you kidnapped right now? Send me something that only you and I will know. That's our code. You have to send me something that only you will know the answer to. right? So he's in Spain and I'm like, something's not feeling right now. Send me something that only you and I know. And what did you send me?
I actually don't remember.
He sent me the perfect wine glass. It had the perfect stem on it. It was literally the only wine glass I'll drink out of. And I was like, it's him, right? Why was I coming here? I had my menopausal brain my 35-year-old menopausal brain just kicked in. And I can't remember why we were going here, but it was, I know why. Because Jonah's a wonderful son. I was with Jeannie and Judy and Anne-Marie for dinner last Saturday night. And I told them that story and they laughed and went, oh my God, my kid would have been like, what the fuck? Get a life. They would have all given, right? Not my kid. My son comes and makes a roux with me. He stops Xbox. Not always. Granted, most of the time not. But you're a good human being.
Thank you.
And you're a wonderful, wonderful son. So thank you.
You're welcome.
A little bit of a pain in the ass at the time, but we all are. I have to throw that in just to keep it balanced. A little pain in the ass when he was.
I mean, on the other side of the spectrum, I just text landed when I land and that's it. So.
He does. Well, even that is something. Landed. I get a landed every time he lands. I have no complaints.
True. Well, that's because I was traumatized because the one time I didn't text you when I fell asleep on the bus.
Oh, well, you were young.
I was like 16, 17.
16 or 17, taking a bus from the Berkshires to Cape Cod.
Yes, and I fell asleep.
He fell asleep and we didn't hear from him for hours.
An hour.
A couple.
The bus ride was only a couple hours. I was only asleep for an hour of it.
And the whole family was like, oh my God, where's Jonah? Right? Oh, we were so nervous. Yeah. Were you traumatized? Yeah.
Well, no.
You need therapy. Was that early childhood trauma for you?
I was just like, I have to tell people where I am. Otherwise, But hey, that means you're loved. That means you're cared for.
Well, I'm sorry if that threw a little kink in the cord, but.
Well, I think we're a very good example of healthy dependence growing into independence.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you definitely have to keep an eye on the relationship because, if you're not paying attention to these sorts of things, relationships can grow into codependent relationships and not the type of codependency that necessarily what's her name back in the
Melody Beattie.
Was that in the 80s that she was talking about that?
Probably the 90s.
The 90s?
Oh, no, it might have been the 80s.
The 80s.
80s, yeah. Late 80s, yeah.
The 80s, 35 years ago.
When I was 35. I was in my 20s.
She was in her 20s in the 80s.
Teens to 20s.
Yeah, codependency is absolutely not holding the door for someone. And it's not relying on someone else for certain things. But I think codependency is more so when your emotional well-being is wrapped up in the emotional well-being of another, if that makes sense.
I would say that's true. And I think it would also be me not allowing you to go live freely.
Yeah.
Even though, I have feelings sometimes that I don't want him to.
Yeah.
But mostly I don't have those feelings. And when I do have them or I'm scared or sad, I don't try and prevent you. I think the reason this is an important conversation is because it's messy.
Yes.
There are kinks in the cord. When the Campbells and I did all up in arms, I don't know if that was healthy or not. I don't know if maybe it, but shit happens. And you know what happens when shit happens? You go and you work it out with a therapist or a group. Life is messy and not perfect. And with you moving and you going back to school and all, we've gone through a gazillion kinks so far. A gazillion kinks. And down the rabbit hole at times.
Yeah.
Where it's I can't separate out what's my history with my present moment. Jonah's, what's his history. It's a constant conversation and it all leads to independence. And interdependence and I'm reclaiming my independence as a mom.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, the relationship between the child and the primary caregiver is it's a two-way street, right? If you're afraid for me and restrict me from going out into the world, that's in turn going to make me afraid to go out into the world. And it goes the other way too. If I'm afraid to go out into the world, you're going to be afraid for me when I do. And so it's important for.
Do you think that it goes both ways?
I do. I think that it can go both ways.
I think that as a parent, though, I'm sorry. You want to finish that thought? I guess I'm not.
The responsibility is on the parent, but I think that there are some, children have dispositions and temperaments that are completely independent of the parent and the parent's control, right? Like there are many research studies that support the idea that a large component of personality is genetic and is not formed. It's nature. It's not necessarily nurture. And there can be kids who are more introverted naturally and who are more reticent to go out into the world. And parents can either take that and use it as an opportunity to gently push them while also supporting them, or they can buy into the idea that maybe, it's their fault, or there's, that this child should not be going out into the world. Too many bad things can happen because the kid is quiet, the kid is shy, the kid's not going to be able to stand up for themselves. So I think that there can be instances where the parent's fear is actually informed by the child's temperament. But then that will come back onto the child, and then the child will really be afraid to go out into the world because.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely the responsibility is on the parent.
Well, I think curiosity is the word. I think to remain curious as a parent. And I know for me, coming from the background that I did, I've had to have a lot of support around that. So I think you're talking about, I think what got me, as you said, if I'm afraid, you're going to be afraid. If you're afraid, I'm going to be afraid. And I think a better word for the parent would be to stay curious. Like you said, as opposed to feed into the fear, but be curious because everybody's different.
Yeah.
Some people aren't ready to pack up and leave right away. Some people need a little time. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think that, as a parent, your job is to be as supportive as you can of the child. And also, if you feel they need a little push sometimes, you give them a little push sometimes, right? You don't want your child to grow up and be afraid. I know my experience with you was, I never really had any issues with going out into the world. I was always sleeping at my friend's house. I was always going away. I've always been a very out of home body. So I guess you didn't necessarily have to give me that push, but what you certainly did was you remained supportive despite the fact when sometimes you were having very strong feelings of your own about me being out or me going far away.
Yes. I also want to put a plug in here. I didn't do any of it alone. I made sure I was supported. I had a therapist the entire time because I was pretty hell-bent on making sure I was seeing things properly. And I believe it's difficult as parents. I don't care how great your childhood was. I think it's difficult because, as our kids are growing, we're seeing ourselves every age. We're seeing us. And I if I want to do things in a healthy way, in a good way, in a loving way, I've got to keep my I got to keep an eye on the pulse, a feel on the pulse. And the way I did that was I had therapists, I did groups, I did whatever I had to do to ensure that my vision was correct with my son. And it's still not. There's not a perfect process, but I would say that it's so funny. I don't think this was the avenue we were planning on going down today, was it?
No. Let's keep going.
But I think it's a good conversation what independence is and the fact that you're launching and parents and kids are getting to see what a conversation like that could look like,
Yeah.
I think the word codependency is now more appropriate for It's rampant in addictive relationships.
Yeah.
If somebody's alcoholic or a drug addict, and I think that's where people really need to get like very, very serious help.
Before we go there, I just want to piggyback on the last thing that you just
Whatever
said.
you want to do, go. Yeah.
I think that you bring up a very interesting point with, speaking about the support that you had and how you were in therapy and how you were in group.
Yeah.
I think that's a very interesting point because as a kid, I didn't see that.
No.
I don't see that. And your kids won't see that.
No.
Your kids will only see you
That's a good point.
as the responsible one.
I never thought of
like
that.
the reason that I felt safe to leave home was because my mom was supportive of it. And my mom was only supportive of it because of the help that she got. Right? So without that help, I don't get the support that I feel, and then I blame my mom. I would have blamed my mom if I hadn't felt supported, right? So the kids don't see the help that what you're doing. The kids only see the outcome, the consequence of the actions of the parents, which is why it's so important for parents to have that support system for themselves in place.
Yes.
Because the kids are never going to see that. And if you want to have a wonderful, healthy, good relationship with your child where they feel supported,
and it's never too late.
you have to do what it takes, but you're not going to get, recognition for getting help from your kids. The only thing that you're going to get at the end of the day is your kids are going to trust you and your kids are going to believe in what you say because they feel the support emanating from you. But it's I think it's clearly a thankless job.
That, my friends, is why you hear that a lot. Parenting is a thankless job. Jonah thanks me all the time. Thank you, Mom. Thank you. That's not what that means. What it means is you're literally behind the scenes doing everything you can to get well and better yourself and be as good as you can for yourself. And your kids aren't going to see that effort. Nobody is.
They can't.
Can I interject something here that I think is very important for parents? Mm-hmm. I want you to know something, and this is not an exaggeration. When Jonah used to leave, he went far away. He went to Mauritius for a year. He was in Mexico getting his divers right. During COVID, he was living with me in Mansfield, and I had the conversation with him one day, and I said, "Listen, you cannot do Xbox for a career. That's not what this pandemic is going to do to you. You can't."
Turns out you can, but wasn't for me.
Right. If you're going to do Xbox for a career, you need to design games or do something that's going to create a living, right? Where you're going to be a part of the society's family. But I said, if that's not happening, you cannot rot away in your bed and do Xbox. I said, you got to think of something. And I really wanted to direct him because it was a challenging time. So it bites me in the ass. My son comes in and says, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to Puerto Rico and I'm going to work with AmeriCorps and I'm going to build houses on a stipend with people, the people in Puerto Rico who have lost their homes in the hurricanes. And I'm also going to be able to get money towards education. I'll get a credit for education. Well, I was like, honey, that's great. Well, let me tell you, Puerto Rico he did Mexico, he did Mauritius. He kept getting further and further away. Okay. Australia. Okay. We're talking, he went for it. And they weren't always easy conversations, but I never told you not to go. I hugged him. I said, yes. One year, he and his father planned it on Mother's Day. He left, okay? And I already have an abandonment wound like the size of 7 Texases put together, okay? So I want parents to know this, okay? I'm being overly dramatic for a reason. After Jonah leaves to go somewhere far off, I don't even know if you know this. You might not. I go to bed. I get into bed. I could cry right now talking about it. I get into bed and it takes me a couple days to feel good again. Like literally, I want parents to know this is probably the tilt, the extreme of, what parents feel. So Some of you will identify with this, and some of you will just feel a little of what I'm talking about. But if I hadn't taken care of that abandonment wound, that attachment wound, Jonah would be a very different person today. And there was the potential for Jonah's independence to go very awry with the parenting I had, with losing my father at an early age, with being raised by literally a very, very intense psychotic mother, who was not a narcissist, by the way. When the few times my mother was well, she was very remorseful. I did not have narcissistic parenting. I did not have that wound, but I was raised by a psychotic, massive psychotic, schizoaffective disorder, and my father who drank to cope and ate to cope and died very young. If I hadn't tended to myself, my son would not have been jetting off across the world gleefully. And when I tell you, in order to do that, I'd have to let him go and I'd shut my shades and I would have to be with myself. Healing takes a tolerance to go to the basement of your own soul and lay there with yourself and trust that you're not going to stay there forever. The only time we stay there forever is when we avoid it. Because then we start drinking, we start eating, we start doing very, very bad things that keep us in a rotation of self-abandonment and self-annihilation for years and years. I would get into bed. I'd get into bed. And I would shut the shades. I'd have to cancel things with friends. Some of my friends didn't understand. They got mad at me. Some of my friends did not understand and got mad at me. Some of them are still mad at me. And I would get into bed and I would grieve. And I'd be grieving Jonah and I'd be grieving my childhood and whatever else came up. And eventually I'd get up and feel great. It was over. It was over. And it does get over. But I tell you that because therapy gets a bad rap. Going into the dark feelings get a bad rap. And independence in the 4th of July in our Constitution was literal bloodshed. It's right? It's bloodshed. And it takes bloodshed to heal sometimes. Wounds heal that way. They bleed. And then a scab forms. And sometimes the scab falls off and you have to, right? It's a little bit more healed. Healing into independence or interdependence or whatever we're talking about, right? All of it is bloodshed. It takes it's annihilating sometimes. And I think it's important that this be said out loud for both the sake of the child growing into an adult and the parents. It's very scary. I know that was a lot of words, but it's my party and I'll cry if I want to.
I thought it was beautifully said.
Thank you, honey.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think, as we look back on the formation of our country and, we think about what it took to get that. Yeah, it was the realization that change needed to happen and the willingness to do whatever it took to make that change happen. And I think that's what we're talking about now.
With people, humans.
And people died. People were lost. People were harmed. People were never the same.
That's right.
But I know that every single person fighting back then, did it for us to be here now. Because that was the vision that they had.
Amen.
And that's what generations and generations and parents and grandparents and great-grandparents and so on, that's all they want for their children, right? They want them to have it better than they had it. And they do the things that they do so that I can go jet off across the world and be okay. So that we can have a country where people can chase their dreams. Because that's not what it looked like. That's not what it looked like in the 1700s. It was very different.
Yes, very different.
And it's certainly not perfect now, but they had a vision and they did their best to execute it. And here we are as a result of their actions. And
That's right.
all we can do now is take advantage of what they've given us and try and do the same for the next generation and the generation after that.
Yep.
You know, I'm getting to the age where I'm thinking about whether or not I want to have kids, and certainly hearing you and others talk about what it takes to raise a child.
Yes. Raise a child well.
To raise a child well. I'm only interested in doing it if I'm going to do it well. I want no part in raising a child in a way that's going to set them up for failure or hurt them or anyone else.
If I had known what it was going to take, this is how clever life is, I probably wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't say that now because I know you and I would never not want to do it. Ever, 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 ever. It has not only been, you've not only been the highlight and love of my life as my son, but it grew me in ways that I could have never, ever developed without you.
Yeah.
Ever. So I thank you for that. But if I had known, I'd be an alcoholic food junkie in New York City somewhere, or homeless, or it would not have gone well for me, I don't think. But who knows? You know if your kid's being loved or not. Everybody's different communities, different styles. If your kid's home, if they're away, it doesn't matter. And the weller we get, the weller our children get at any age, not just formative years. Go get weller. Go get weller if you need to. I know that's not an actual word, but I use it. Dr. Jan taught me that word.
I love it. Weller. Go get Weller.
So I guess happy 250th birthday, America.
Happy 250, America.
Born in the USA. Do you know those are the only words I know to that song?
That's most of the words.
And I'm proud to be an American. At least I know I'm free. That's another one. Anyways, I guess I didn't hold the songs in. Do you want to sing one? What do you have for the USA, for the Independence Day?
Yeah. Woo. Whoop, whoop.
Well, we love you. Whoever's watching this and whoever needs a little extra love right now.
Absolutely.
There's love coming your way from The Good Love with Steph. I'm Steph.
And I'm Jonah.
And until next time, friends, have a wonderful, safe holiday weekend.
Absolutely.
You'll see this well after the holiday, by the way, but we are hoping you a well holiday weekend.
And we'll see you next week. We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.
Bye.